Welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I got another review for you. This is Image Comics, Silver Coin number 6. It's written by Joshua Williams, and then Michael Walsh does the art, colors, and letters. We are going along with the anthology, like kind of horror story that the Silver Coin is supposed to be. It just each episode of the comic or issue, follows the Silver Coin. There hasn't really been a connectivity throughout the whole story. Some issues have, some not so much. But in this issue, we come across a game player, and he's playing a fighting game. There is a really cool Easter egg with where they show the two of the playable characters are image characters, one being Spawn, and the other one being the I don't know her name, but it's the Department of Truth lady with the X's over her eyes. But you can clearly see them kind of day, and Spawn later on. You get to see a lot more of him. Excuse me. But the story follows a young boy at an arcade, and every day he goes to this arcade, and I guess he's just playing games. He loves arcades. And he's going there, and there's a guy that works at the arcade, and he goes there and he's trying to play his friend, and the guy that works there is kind of like a older. I wouldn't say he's grown, but I want to say like teenager compared to what the main character is. Maybe, the main character might be 12, the older guy might be like 17, 18, something like that. But every day he picks on him kind of thing, tell him that he's never going to be able to beat, that game because he keeps picking a certain character. And, eventually they just it just shows like one day in the beginning, but he just goes there and plays the arcade, ends up losing, the guy makes fun of him, and he ends up leaving. As he's leaving, we come in contact with another person that just dogs him, but it's a security guard who works at the mall where this arcade is. And every day this kid's there, I guess this guy harasses him because I guess he feels like kids shouldn't be there or something like that, even though he's spending money at the mall. But he kind of runs the kid off. The kid goes home. Along the way home, he ends up passing a fountain, and the fountain starts calling out to him, and as I read it, it was he was calling out the game that he's calling he's saying the coin is saying the game's name, but it's talking coming out the fountain, and the boy's walking along. He hears it at first, he kind of questions it, looks over at the coin, and then eventually picks it up the next day, going back to the arcade to try out his luck with this new quarter. He does put in the quarter, and just like we've seen from the very first issue with the musician, once he puts the quarter in and starts playing the game, the boy cannot stop. But not only that, now he is just immensely better, probably the best, because it's giving him magical talent. And they just show him first off beating the other little boy that he got beat in the very beginning, and then that's where Spawn comes in. But the other kid picks Spawn, and the guy kills in the fatality fashion, because it's supposed to be a fighting game. But it goes through a whole bunch of slew of other kids that show up during that day that end up trying to play this kid, and over the whole day, they just refer to him as Kid, and no one can beat him. And eventually the kind of punk kid that works there, he's like, okay, I've had enough, let me hop on here and try my hands at it. And he tries, and he gets beat, and eventually he tries getting aggressive with the kid. And at this time, as the story's going, the kid can't stop, and not only is he good at it, but his fingers are starting to bleed. There's even one scene where he plays against a girl, and it's it kind of varies. It could be all within a day. It could have been the story fast forwards over a week or something like that. But they do kind of hint at that he's spending a lot of time there. but even like longer than 6 hours or something like that, playing a long game can be a haul, especially staring at a screen. But they do show the boy, and he's like scratching his face, and he's scratching it so hard, he's drawing blood, and his fingers are definitely covered in blood on the joysticks of the game. But the worker, kind of tries to grab him and gets violent with him, and it's he basically, at this moment, the game has already taken over the kid, and the game just like blurts out in like fighting style. Basically, grabs the guy and smashes his eye into a joystick, and then after that, the security guard hears some kind of commotion going on in the arcade. And after that, it literally looks like a scene from Mortal Kombat, because the kid no longer looks like the kid. He's kind of like been changing into the character that he has been playing all along, complete with the sickle that the character had in the game, and he quickly cuts down the security guard. The comic flash forwards further, and a whole bunch of kids come the next day. There's no talk of blood or anything like that, except that the manager just ends up missing after that. The little, the kid that was harassing the other kid. But there's no like cops or anything, so I don't know. So anyways, the coin is still in the machine at that point, but there is like a side story at the end of this. And it's just another moment of time. Again, this being an anthology series, but it is it's set as like some Boy Scouts, but younger Scouts, not really like Eagle Scouts or anything like that. We're talking about Weeblos and stuff, but it's some younger Scouts, and they're out in the wilderness, and they're on a hike with their Scoutmaster, and they're kind of like, hey, you know what that is? You know what kind of bird that is? You know what kind of bug that is? And eventually they do pass one of the kid blurts out like a eagle nest, and the guy's like, no, that's like a crow nest, and he's like, it's pretty ordinary, you could tell by the way he's got it built and this and that. And then they show like a bird's eye view of the nest down to the troopers, and in the nest you can see that the silver coin is present. But no bird or anything like that, just the silver coin and some other knickknacks. And they kind of, during the comic, they kind of change around the imagery of what you can see in the nest. But eventually, at one point, the children try to climb the tree to get to the nest. They don't see the coin. It has nothing to do with that. They're just, I guess, trying to see what's in the nest. But the first attempters, they don't make it too far up the tree, because a crow comes down and angrily knocks them back down to the ground. The Scoutmaster saying like, oh, isn't it funny, there must be something important for the mother to be texting it that bad, but the Scoutmaster just like it's eggs or something like that. And the issue kind of just leaves with the leaves off with the crow protecting the coin and some other knickknacks, and one of the things being like a cut off finger and like a key, and but yeah, overall this issue was just amazing. They do give us a hint at what the next issue is going to be. It looks like it's going to be a poker related issue with the coin, and I'm down for that. Some especially if it's anything like this or the musician short story. But I like that they brought up that they had other characters, not only the Easter eggs, but they did bring like the Camp Slaughter, Jason look-alike slasher guy into this comic as one of the fighting characters in the game. It was kind of cool. But again, I love the art was really great. The story was just, it was intriguing. It was a quick read because it was so intriguing, and for me it was close to home because I like arcades. That was that kid minus the silver coin pie. Of course, I'm still alive. But yeah, just thanks for watching. I will be back with more reviews, and y'all have a great Friday. Or whenever you catch this.